If you've ever had to write a business rule, you've definitely run into this problem. How do you check a whole list of items, not just one single piece of data? Well, today we're going to master exactly that, how to work with collections in IBM's business action language.
And I'm willing to bet the answer is a big yes, right? I mean, think about it. How often do your business decisions depend not on one little thing, but on a whole group of them? It happens all the time.
You see this stuff everywhere. We need to check a customer's entire order history or validate all the items in their shopping cart. We have to review every single service on an insurance claim or make sure every last document for a loan is there. These are all collections.
And here's the cool part. BAL gives you this wonderfully simple, plain English way to deal with these lists. But, and this is a big but, underneath that simplicity, there's a really critical technical detail that can trip up even seasoned pros. We're going to make sure that doesn't happen to you.
Okay, so how does BAL help us out here? Let's meet the core feature designed for exactly these situations, the BAL collection.
The easiest way to think about a BAL collection is as a smart list. It's a way for business folks and rule authors to talk to a group of objects using simple, readable language, while the system takes care of all the complicated code in the background. All right, let's get our hands dirty. I'm going to walk you through the essential toolkit. These are the 4 main operators you'll be using constantly when you work with collections.
First up, the most fundamental check you can possibly do. Is there anything in the list at all?
Yup, this is your starting point. Before you even think about counting or checking items, you might just need to know if the collection has anything in it. It's simple, it's direct, and it's incredibly useful.
Okay, next up in the toolkit, counting. How many things are actually in our list?
Now pay attention to the phrasing here. The number of. This is BAL being smart for you. You don't need to know about some .size method in Java. You just ask for the number of items, just like you would in a normal conversation.
Okay, this is where things get really powerful. What if you don't care how many items there are, but you just need to know if a specific kind of item is in the list?
The there exists operator is your go-to for this. It's like a search party. It scans the list, and the second it finds just one item that matches your rule, it stops and says, yep, found one. The key here is at least one. Does at least one order have a total over 500? That's the question it answers.
But what about the total opposite? What if you need to be a strict inspector and make sure that every single item in the list meets your standard?
For that, you use for all. This operator looks at every single item in that collection. No exceptions. If even one of them fails the test, like having a price of 0, the whole thing is false. This is your absolute best friend for writing validation rules.
All right, you've got the basics down. Now for that crucial distinction I warned you about. This is the part that's going to save you a ton of headaches. You see, while BAL lets you write in simple English, the system underneath it all treats lists in 2 very different ways. And knowing that difference, well, it's everything. This right here gets to the absolute heart of it. Under the hood, your list is either a rigid Java array or a flexible Java collection. You can think of an array like a sealed ox. It has a fixed size and that's it. A collection, on the other hand, is like an open shopping bag. It's dynamic and you can just keep tossing things into it. This one single difference is the source of so many common errors.
So how do you handle this correctly? Let's look at what works. First example here. You can safely move items from a fixed size array into a flexible collection. And in the second one, you can move items between 2 arrays. This works because you're either staying at the same level of restriction or moving to one that's less restrictive.
And now for the big trap you have to avoid. You can't go the other way. You see in that first example, you can't just pour the contents of your flexible shopping bag collection into a fixed-sized box array. The system's going to throw an error because it can't guarantee everything will fit or even be the right type. Same deal with that generic copy. It creates a type mismatch, which is a super common and frustrating error.
So if you're going to remember one thing from this section, make it this. Java.util collection is flexible. You can add all sorts of items to it easily. An array is rigid. You can't just add new things to it whenever you want. And when it comes to sorting, they are not interchangeable. Each one needs its own specific sort command.
Okay, so we've been in the technical weeds a little bit. Let's pull back up and look at the bigger picture. Because getting this right isn't just about avoiding errors. It's about making your entire team work better together.
You see, this is a team sport. You've got the business analyst who's writing the rule in plain English. Then you have the developer,
who's responsible for mapping a term like the customer's orders to the correct Java object, whether it's an array or a collection. When everyone understands that distinction, the whole process just works, and the engine can turn it all into efficient code.
And that's really the whole point, isn't it? When you master BAL collections, you're not just writing code that works. You're writing rules that are powerful, efficient, and perfectly clear to both the business and the tech people on your team.
And hey, if you really want this to sink in, the best way is to try it yourself. IBM actually provides a fantastic sample project. Just open up the Samples console in Rule Designer, find the BAL Collections sample, and import it. You can play around with the exact code from our examples and see for yourself why some rules work and others just don't.
So, I'll leave you with a challenge. Now that you've got this toolkit and you know how to avoid the common traps, what's the first complex business process you could tackle? What could you simplify and make crystal clear with a powerful, readable BAL rule?